Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 34 of Cute Little Love Letters, and this one is titled Flirty Babies. Yin, please don't worry, the teacher said with a kind smile. This kind of thing does happen more regularly than you'd imagine, he said with a knowing nod of his head. Is there a way you could focus on what your quirk is, based on the mix of your parents?
Oh, yes,
you said with a smile.
Yes, I can do that. Do I just need to state generally what a fairy is and basically about what they can do, and then I can discuss how it manifests for me?
Yes, that's fine, he said. I'll note that we've had this discussion, so you won't lose any marks for that section about the history. A wave of relief washed over you.
Thank you so much,
you said gratefully.
I was really worried.
You're a diligent student, Yin. It's completely fine, he said kindly. You are free to go to break now and head into the next class.
Thank you, sir,
you said as you stood up and bowed deeply to him, and then turned and bowed to your homeroom teacher as well.
Thank you both.
They both nodded, and you left the teacher's lounge. She really is a good student, your teacher said to Vlad King. She is, and very mature for her age, Vlad added. She carries herself with a soft confidence that I don't think she's even aware of, he added. It wouldn't surprise me if she's from fairy royalty, the teacher added. I know a little about the different fairies in our world, and I would say she is of citrine descent, but I wouldn't go ahead and say anything unless the conversation opened. Vlad King nodded. Best not to pry too much. Sounds like she doesn't want her family history uncovered, he said. Having only a few minutes left of break, you ran to your locker to get books for the next class and noticed a little letter when you opened the locker door.
Oh,
you wondered when you picked it up.
Who could this be?
You opened the letter and recognised Denki's writing immediately, and then remembered how he had been a little worried about you in the morning, and how he had been a little bit distant.
I feel so bad,
you thought, as you started to read the letter. Hey Yin, it read. I don't know how to cheer you up, but I wanted you to know that I'm thinking about you, and here's a poem I wrote for you to help make you smile. Roses are red, violets are blue. If you step in a puddle, I'll step in it too. If it's raining real hard, I'll grab an umbrella, and if you get some toast, I'll grab the Nutella. You cracked a smile at his words. You knew he was trying his best, and what you got out of his little poem was that he was trying to say that he was going to be right there with you, no matter what, and you smiled again. I hope you feel better. I like you a bunch, and if you're free and break today, do you want to have lunch? At the bottom of the letter was a yes box and a no box, and you quickly grabbed a pen from your pencil case and ticked yes, and then got your things, walked to his locker, quickly used your quirk to get in and dropped the letter inside, and then flew out and walked away, feeling much lighter than you had in the morning. Denki got your reply just as he was putting his books back in his locker after the next two classes, and excitedly grabbed the letter and read it, and then shoved it into his pocket before turning and running down the hallway. No running in the halls! His classmate Ida shouted, chopping his arm at the disappearing blonde. Sorry, Ida! Denki yelled as he dropped to a walking speed, but continued on his way, as he was keen to see you again. You were waiting inside the cafeteria when Denki appeared, his clothes slightly askew and his chest rising and falling rapidly.
Are you okay?
You asked him as he approached you. Yeah, totally chill. I wasn't running to get to you at all, he said with a small chuckle. You gave him a little smile.
Okay, sure,
he said with a small chuckle. Hey, so let's grab some food and head to the roof again, he offered, stepping out first to go and get a lunch tray. You nodded and followed his lead, getting a tray and some different foods before following him out of the cafeteria and up the stairs that led to the roof. It was another lovely day and the sun was shining bright as you stepped out onto the roof terrace behind him. You followed him over to the bench at the other end and sat down next to him and pulled the drink popper out to take a sip. Hey, I got the same flavour, he said, holding his own drink popper up to show you.
It's good,
you said after taking a sip. Can I try? He asked eagerly.
Yeah, the same,
you commented, pointing to his popper. Oh, yeah, he said with the same enthusiasm as what he had just asked for a taste from yours, and you chuckled.
You're so silly,
you giggled. I'll be as silly as you want, he replied with a cheeky smile.
Hey, thank you for your letter,
you said shyly.
I really liked it. It made me smile.
I'm glad, he said after opening his popper and taking a sip. You just look so sad this morning. I wanted to do something to make you feel a little happier.
It worked,
you replied with a smile.
I also spoke to the teachers about my assignment and stuff, and that helped too. I just have a friend now that I need to apologise to.
You added with a small sigh.
I said something insensitive, and it got them upset.
I can't see you ever doing something to make someone upset, Denki said with surprise as he leaned in towards you.
It was an accident,
You said.
I didn't mean to say something that would bring up something for them, but I should have known better than to just speak without thinking how they might react.
It's okay, Denki said. I'm sure if you explain it to them, they'll understand.
I hope so,
You said with a small sigh.
It's my workmate, Olex. Olex is a sprite, which is a similar race to Faerie. I think you and Olex would get on well, actually.
Is Olex a guy or a girl? Denki asked.
Oh, Olex is non-binary. They go by they, them. But they're very cheeky, and they have a similar personality to yours.
You said with a smile.
I'll have to introduce you one day.
I'd love to meet others in your world, Denki said happily. I want to know all about you.
Me too,
You said shyly. Oh, yeah, I wanted to know what your favourite food is, Denki said. I was going to get you your favourite food, but I didn't know what it was, so I wrote you a letter instead.
I liked the letter,
You said with a small chuckle. I liked writing it, he said with a sly, cheeky grin, because it meant that I got to see you now. You gave him another shy smile and looked away bashfully. So, what's your favourite food? He asked.
Oh, my mum is a pretty good cook. I like anything she makes,
You said, thinking for a second.
but I think I like sweets more. I have a sweet tooth.
That makes sense, because of how sweet you are, Denki flirted, giving you a side glance. You caught his flirting and made a small noise of acknowledgement, but couldn't find the right words to reply.
I have to be more confident.
You thought.
I told myself I'd be more confident. Well, you're sweet too. You're like honey, and your hair is the colour of honey.
You replied back to him. Your comment took him by surprise, and he stared at you for a second before a giant grin broke out on his face. That was good, I like that, he said with a chuckle. Well, here, he then added, turning and picking up something off his tray and turning back to hand it to you. A honey bread, he said, holding it out to you. You looked at it and then smiled excitedly.
Really? Can I have this?
You asked, reaching to take it, your fingers brushing the side of his hand as you went to take it. He felt the touch, and you noticed too, letting your fingers linger for a little bit before taking the bread. Yeah, you can have it, he said with a blush on his cheeks, settling back and placing his hand down beside him at the same time that you bashfully looked away and placed your hand down too, placing it directly on top of his.
Oh, sorry.
You both said at the same time. No, it's okay.
I'll move my hand.
Don't, he said when he heard what you'd said. I like it there.
Really?
You asked as you gently put your hand back on top of his. Yeah, he said, his gentle gaze locking you in place as he gave you a very soft look. Oop, I feel like the next chapter is going to be a bit flirty. Stay tuned for tomorrow. I'll see you then.